I can't believe it. We did it. We covered all the AFC. Alright. What's next? Oh no. Oh god, no. Well then, this is gonna be controversial. Gracias, Packer Nation! Just joking. Welcome you guys back to another episode of Packer and Wild. I'm your host, Packer, and I can't wait for the Detroit Lions to be good in about 100 years. Wild. And today we are covering the NFC. Not just that, but the NFC North. Because for today we're covering the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. And newly acquired first-round pick, Jordan Love. Stupid. The Detroit Lions with Matthew Stafford and, Jeff Okuda, but that's really it. The Chicago Bears with Mitchell Trubisky and Khalil Mack and newly acquired Nick Foles. And the Minnesota Vikings with Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins, and newly acquired Justin Jefferson. Alright, so today, if you don't know what the channel is about, this channel, as of right now, because we're doing more football stuff and football news, we will be covering every single division in the AFC, and now and now in the NFC. Today we'll cover the NFC North. We're doing our predictions to see where each team will land up by the time the playoffs start in 2020. That's if it even happens. It most likely will. Let's start off with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I see the Green Bay Packers going at 9-7. Yes, they really fell from 13-3 to 9-7 because that's where they should have been last year. I see the Packers beating the Lions, the Falcons, the Texans, the Vikings once, the Jaguars, the Colts, the Bears once, sweeping the Lions because they beat the Lions twice, and the Panthers. I see them losing to the Vikings, the Saints, the Buccaneers, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Titans, and the Bears. You know what the most hilarious thing is when you look at all of these stats for the Packers? They never actually beaten a team above 500. Aside from two. And that's the Vikings and the Bears. Yes, spoiler alert, the Vikings and the Bears are at least 500. Or at least do above 500. I'm not telling you which one it is, because you gotta continue watching the video. But they are at least 500. But even then, the Vikings and the Bears beat the Packers at least once. The Saints, the Buccaneers, the Titans, they beat them. The funny thing is, people always say that Kirk Cousins can't be a team over 500. Well then, Rodgers, I think it was your turn to realize you can't either. Speaking of the Chicago Bears, here, the Chicago Bears. I see this team at 9-7. I see this team being the Lions, the Giants, the Colts, the Panthers, the Rams, the Vikings, at least once, the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Packers once. I see this team losing to the Falcons, the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Titans, the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. I say the Lions because, I don't know, the Bears always have really one confusing loss. Same thing with the Cowboys. It's weird. Anyway, so of course last year they were what 8-8, 7-9 or 7-9 or 8-8. Of course they have newly acquired Nick Foles, who actually was part of the Philadelphia Eagles when they selected him. Why is that important? Well, their head coach, Matt Nagy, was a part of that original Philadelphia Eagles that Nick Foles was a part of. And then, well, Nick Foles went to Rams. That time they were St. Louis Rams. Now they're the Los Angeles Rams. We will cover it in the next episode. He thought retired with the Philadelphia, won a Super Bowl, won the Jaguars. One of the worst contracts of all times happened, and then got traded to the Bears for a 4th-round pick. Of course, they still have Cleo Mack. Their defense is still absolutely great. But that offensive line, though, the wide receivers. Who are the wide receivers for the Chicago Bears? There's no superstar. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't have a super wide receiver, but they have enough weapons that they could make it to the playoffs. So I see the team going 9-7, but it could depend on how both Nick Foles and Mitchell Trubisky play. The next team on the list is the Detroit Lions. And so last year, they are not going to do well. In fact, my dear friend, they did worse. They're going to end up at 2-14. Why is that? Because I think Matthew Stafford will get injured again. Matthew Stafford is one of the most underrated quarterbacks of all times. And he needs to be on a different team. I'm so surprised he did not want to trade. He's like Larry Fitzgerald for the Arizona Cardinals. He didn't want to get traded. He should. Maybe to a team like Pittsburgh. That would be a good place for him to end up. In fact, Pittsburgh's a good place for a lot of places. For a lot of quarterbacks. Josh Rosen, Cam Newton, Matthew Stafford. No, I need to make a video just on the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation because that's going to be interesting. I see this team beating the Redskins and the Bears. But I have to be generous. I see this team losing the Bears, Packers, Cardinals, Saints, Jaguars, Falcons, Colts, Vikings, Panthers, Texans, Bears, Packers, Titans, Buccaneers, and Vikings. Yeah, no. This season did not go well for you guys. Just like most seasons. When will you ever be good? And finally, we're talking about my favorite team in the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings. Last year they went 10-6, and of course they lost some of their defensive players, which they did actually get some replacements in the draft. They also lost their main wide receiver and Stephon Diggs in a trade they did with the Buffalo Bills, getting their first round pick. And eventually using that pick to get Stephon Diggs' replacement in Justin Jefferson. I see this team going 11-5, actually doing better than what they did before. I see this team being the Packers, the Colts, the Titans, the Texans, Seahawks, Falcons, Lions, Panthers, Jaguars, Bears, and Lions. I see this team losing 5 games. I see this team losing the Packers once, the Bears once, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers, and I see the Saints getting revenge from last year's playoffs. Of course, Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins come back. I see Kirk Cousins actually doing better. Kirk Cousins is probably one of the most... hated quarterbacks of all time. Like, he's hated because he can't beat teams over 500. And I need to make a whole video on Kirk Cousins as well, because I am tired of people saying that Kirk Cousins can't beat teams over 500, when clearly he can. But it's like, you're not really helping him. So, yeah, so those are my placements. So there you guys go. Those are my placements for each team in the NFC North. I see the Vikings number 1 with 11-5. I see the Bears. Yeah, that's right, the Bears 9-7 at number 2. I see the Packers number 3 with 9-7 as well, and the Lions 2-14 at the number 4 spot. If you guys enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment down below which division you guys want to do next. I mean, personally, I want to do which one is it? The 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks division. I believe that's the West division. But if you guys do enjoy, you know what to do. I've been your host, PJ and Wealth, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.